When I got to LA, I just wanted to hang out and catch up with my friends. I met them in Turkey over 7 years ago when they were refugees. It was a ton of fun reconnecting, hanging out, catching up, and eating Persian food. This is my friend Daniel Baggerpour, and we grew up together when I lived in Turkey, went to school together. While I was here in Southern California, I decided to come visit him. He whipped up a little song for us, so we're gonna perform it real quick. I'm building my fire. Will you let it glow? Will you let me go? I'm building my fire. Will you let it grow? Oh yeah. People only know me by my name, by the name you gave, by the name you gave. Might look like I'm just blowing smoke. You can keep on laughing, but one of these days you'll choke. I'm building my fire. Will you let it glow? Will you let me go? I'm building my fire. Will you let it grow? Oh yeah. I am out by the Salton Sea. This is the biggest lake in California. And guess what I got here? I got a date out here. This kind of date. And let me tell you what, these are delicious. I could eat these all day. Thing I like about date trees is they're super easy to climb. It's like they have little steps just for me. You know, I've been to a lot of really cool places on this trip, but this is the Salton Sea, and it has to be one of the weirdest places I've been. It's a sea, it's salt water. It's a little bit less salty than the ocean, but for the most part, it's just salt water, and it's huge. This is the biggest lake in California. The location is bizarre too. We're out in the middle of a desert. We've got mountains and then just desert everywhere. Reminds me a lot of what the Dead Sea looks like. However, this sea is far from dead. The life around this sea is absolutely incredible. There are birds everywhere, just all along the shoreline. There's even some like way out in the middle there. And for the most part, there's a lot of pelicans, white pelicans and brown pelicans. And another weird thing about that is the brown pelicans are acting like the white pelicans. The white pelicans will generally dip their bill in and scoop up fish and krill, brine shrimp. Whereas where I'm from, the brown pelicans, you always see them diving and catching whole fish. So this is just kind of bizarre, watching them dip their beaks in the water like they're a white pelican. However, that behavior is gonna come in handy because with brown pelicans, their eyes don't have eyelids, so they can never shut their eyes. What that means is after years and years of diving in headfirst after fish, they start to lose their sight. And that's generally how brown pelicans will die, is by going blind and starving. So the ones out here are preserving their eyes a little bit better by not diving and adapting to that white pelican behavior. Now I know you want to know about fish. So as far as fish go, naturally there are no fish, but tilapia, which are very salt tolerant, live in this lake. And there's an estimated 400 million tilapia in the lake today. That's an insane number. Welcome to Salvation Mountain, the entrance to Slab City. Now my favorite thing about Salvation Mountain is that you're expected to climb up it. And obviously Leonard was the fellow that made this. He just wanted to spread the message, God is love. And he's written that all over this place, I mean, everywhere. He did this to get rid of a little bit of hate in this world. This entire project is made of adobe, and it took him 28 years to complete. Unfortunately, Leonard died in 2014. Now the mountain is really awesome, but there's a place called Hippie Heaven that we're going down to next. And that place is pretty impressive.
I think this place is really cool because it's in like the middle of the desert and you would never think that something so colorful and bright and fun would be out here.
Random. How did we hear about it? I think like honestly,
We heard through Instagram.
yeah, Pinterest.
Yeah. My sister told me to go here.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talked to a human being.
I think it's interesting because you just look around and it's like all brown and just like dead, and then it's just this little like burst of color everywhere, and it's just like so fun.
Out of nowhere. I think it's awesome how like the backstory, just like this one guy just came out here and like asked for volunteers to come out and like build this masterpiece. And it's just like an expression of like faith, I guess. I think it's awesome.
And I feel like if I met the guy, that he'd be like just a happy man. Like it
Yeah.
just says like God is love everywhere and just colorful things and
Very positive.
yeah. Probably so in shape after painting all
Don't you
this.
think?
I was whining, I was crying. I'd lost my walking stick 2 years before, and I still had separation anxiety. I knew it was okay. I knew it was in the hands of a carpenter, and a carpenter would honor my stick. But I was whining, and she goes, Mopar, here, take my stick. And I go, Copper, I can't, it's your stick, you know, it's your walking stick. It's very personal. And she goes, Mopar, I've got two, Mopar, it's more than 25 feet to where I have to go. I want to ride. I'm not walking anywhere anymore. I'll sit here, drink my beer, I'll pop my nitroglycerin pills so my heart doesn't get too carried away. And 2 weeks later, she died. Hers was a perfect death because her greatest fear was that she would end up in a hospital with tubes in her arm and they'd be keeping her alive just as long as they could.
Yeah.
And she goes, that's what, she couldn't go to jail. She couldn't go to Florida because if she went to Florida, she'd go to jail because they had a warrant for her and they would not let her have her nitroglycerin with her when she was in jail. She gave me stick, and stick used to be very beautiful. Stick was ornate. Stick was a chick magnet, and chick is a chick. Stick is a chick. But the deal is that stick is also a memory stick because each item on here is from someone or some place that I have been. And this one here's from Vietnam. This one here is from my Vietnamese wife. This ring is from a guy I counseled who is letting go of his dead wife now finally. And this is from a guy named Boy Scout from Rainbow Gathering.
All right, so there's a giant art gallery, I guess, out here. It's physical art, so it's you know, structures and things. But this one's probably my favorite right behind me. I mean, look at it. It's just a wall of TVs, and they say things like delusions of propaganda or while supplies last. Like, basically the whole thing about this piece of art is that TV tells us what to think and how to think and what to get riled up about and things like that. And so I think it's really important that we don't buy into it and we look at things and we sit on them and we think before we share it on Facebook or retweet it. This is probably my favorite TV right here. It says side effects may include ignorance, paranoia, weight gain, complacency, mass confusion, unwarranted cynicism, idiot children, and the very last one is the apocalypse. So, pretty funny, this one.